Mesechta Menochos Daf Lamed Ches Amud Aleph. We're starting the new Perek. The Perek is called Hatcheles. Hatcheles. Yeah. Steht Hatcheles. Okay, not okay. Da steht Tahei. It's nicht gechillig. Sagt the Mishnah. Yeah. Hatcheles. Hatcheles. In the tzitzis a blue wool. They say it comes from the dam hachilazim, from that special fish. Others say it's like a snail. In it has like a pouch, and it's like, and you break the pouch. It has like blue ink. Comes in a big one, and there's a whole bunch of little shells, and in each shell there's like a little bag with in it. So it's like a dye. They have plants that people try to sell the plants that come off as if it's the chilazim. They're the same exact. But the chalazon, a lot of people say, that the chalazon is the richtige chalazon. It's the right dye, and a lot of people are wearing it. Anyway, atcheles edem akeves 11. Let's say he only has tcheles. He's only wearing tcheles, so he's only wearing 11. It's supposed to be 2 and 2. It's supposed to be 2 strings according to one man. Taisus says 2 and 2. It's a pisvara. It says that if you have to have both, so you do it equal. But the Rambam says it's 1 of tcheles, that means 2, and the rest, the other 6, which are the 3 long strings that fold up into 2, are white. But right now, so he says, if it's all tcheles on your tzitzis, no white strings, or it's only white strings without tcheles, it's fine. Tefillah shel yad, enim ha'akeves el shoresh. If somebody has a tefillah shel yad, then it's not going to be ma'akev. I'm sorry, if somebody, let's say, if he only has one of the tefillin, one is not going to be ma'akev. You have to put it on. Tefillah shel yad enim ha'akev shel reish, and shel reish enim ha'akev shel yad. The shel yad is not going to be ma'akev. If you don't have the shel yad, you can wear the shel reish. And if he has only the shel reish, it's fine. Each one is a mitzvah on its own. Says the Gemara, one, yeah, but if you're putting on the shoresh, so if you do like the Ashkenazim that they make 2 brachas, so you're going to have to make 2 brachas on the shoresh. Okay. Sagt the Gemara, Leva masnisin the loike Rabbi. Should we say that our Mishnah does not follow Rabbi? Sagt the Gemara, the time that we learned in the Braise, it says in the Torah by tzitzis, Uri'isam oisai, they shall see it. It is 1. Malamed, that teaches us Shem Akvan Zeh. If we look at the tcheles on the blue fringes and the white fringes, all of them together as 1. And you cannot have one without the other. You have to have them all. Roi oisai. Malamed Shem Akvan Zeh. One holds back the other. If you're missing one, you can't fulfill the mitzvah of tzitzis. Divrei Rabbi, those are the words of Rabbi. And the Chachamim say they don't hold back. Our Mishnah said it doesn't hold back, and Rabbi says it does. So it's a question. It's not a question. Should we say our Mishnah doesn't follow Rabbi? Okay, because usually our Mishnah does follow. My time at the Rabbi. What's the reason that Rabbi says that one you can't have one without the other? You have to have all the tcheles together with the lavan. The chsiv, because in the Torah it says v'nosnal tzitzis hakonov. Okay, it says hakonov sil tcheles. Hakonov means of the beged. You should mean hakonov from the same material that your beged is made of. That's what you should make the fringes of. Uksiv. And it says in that white was a white. The konaf is the beged. It's usually white. So therefore, he says you have to make it of the min. So that's none. So that you know already about the white tzitzis. And how do you know that you also have to have tcheles? Because it says also al tzitzis hakonaf. Hakonaf refers to the same color as your beged, which is white. And then it says also psil tcheles. Then you need the fringes, which are blue. So we know you need both from this pasuk. And then afterwards, the Torah continues to say, Uri'isem oisei as a 1, oisei b'lashon yachid, together as 1. Ad the ika Havayu b'chad, till you have them all, which makes it the one mitzvah.
Together.
And if you're missing one, then it's me'akiv. It's essential to have both. The Rabbanan, ureisem oisei, kol chad l'chodei mashma. The Rabbanan argue. They say, ureisem oisei, you should see it, and it says in the singular lashon, the singular oisei, yeah. So the oisei is going on the tchelis itself, and the oisei is going on the leaven itself. Not that the tchelis together with leaven is oisei. Each one, the oisei is referring to each category, to the category of the blue fringes and to the category of the white. Says Gemara, so maybe now that Rebbe says it is ma'akiv, and our Mishnah says ma'akiv means it's essential, you need to have them all together as one, and our Mishnah says you don't, so let us say our Mishnah doesn't follow Rebbe. And it's hard to say that. Rabbi Yehuda Amarav, so the Gemara answers, Rabbi Yehuda said in the name of Rav, Afilu Teima Rebbe. We could even say that our Mishnah was learned like Rebbe. And what is the Mishnah referring to? Not that it's not essential. You need to have the tchelis and you need to have the white fringes. You need them both. But el-kadim, only to which thread do you insert in the corner, in the holes of the corner? Which thread comes first? Does the white thread come first, or the tchelis comes first? That's what we're talking about.
When you make the tzitzis.
When you're making the tzitzis and you're inserting the fringes, the strings, which string should you insert first, the white or the blue?
How do you get that idea?
The Tanya that we learned in the Mishnah, Braisa, that it says mitzvah lahagdim lavan l'tcheles. It's a mitzvah to insert the white fringes before the blue ones. Why? Because what it says, what's written in the Torah first? Hakanov, which is the white fringes, and then psil tcheles. Ve'im higdim tcheles lelavan. But what if he first inserted the blue before the white? He says yotza, he's yotza. Allah shechisa mitzvah, only he's missing in the mitzvah of doing it kisiduran. If you remember, we learned that only where do you need that the Torah should say it twice to say that it's essential by kachim. It says Shana.
So Rabbi agrees with what it says in the first lines of the Mishnah?
Yeah.
It's not ma'akiv?
That really it's not going to be ma'akiv.
If you don't have one of the other.
No. Our Mishnah, he wants to say the Piddush in the Mishnah means, what does it mean? It's not ma'akiv. That you can put in the shalai kisiduran and it's still going to be kosher. We could put in tchelis first. Now he's so so I was telling you, only where do we say ma'akiv that it's essential and it holds back? Only by kachim. The Torah, if the Torah says it twice, shana Allah v'akasav, then it's la'akiv. But when it comes to something that's not kachim, even if it says once, the Torah gave an order, that alone is ma'akiv. That's enough to make it essential. That's the difference between a regular case, which is not kachim, and kachim. In kachim, in order to be ma'akiv, the Torah has to say it twice. But over here, this is not kachim. So therefore, once the Torah says the order, hakanov, which is the white fringes, and then psil tcheles, then the blue fringes, that alone should be ma'akiv. So it's missing to the mitzvah. He says chitza mitzvah. So in fact, my chitza mitzvah. What do you mean that he's missing in the mitzvah? Says Gemara, if you're going to want to say that the Piddush is chitza mitzvah lavan, that it's as if there's no white fringes at all. If you put in the blue before the white, it's as if he doesn't have any the white tzitzis. The kiyum, it's a tcheles. He only has fulfilled tcheles, even though he put in the white after, it's zero. If he put in the tcheles first, he has mebim makayim tcheles, and then when he tries to insert the lavan after the tcheles, it's not. Says Yimon, how could you say he was makayim the mitzvah tcheles? L'Rebbe akuvi ma'akve hadadi. Each one blocks the other. It's as if there's no mitzvah of tzitzis. How could the Braisa say he has fulfilled tcheles? If each one is ma'akiv, each one is essential for the other. So tcheles without the white is no good. There's no tzitzis.
So what does the ratio of the Mishnah mean then, according to Rebbe then?
According, no, we said which one you put him first. He says that Rabbi says it's not me'akiv. It's me'akiv for sure that if you only have blue without white or white without blue, according to Rabbi, it's no tzitzis. It's not going to be tzitzis at all.
It doesn't matter
From
what
this,
you put in first, as long as you have both.
as long as you have both, but he says if you don't have both, then you're not making the mitzvah of tzitzis. And here in this brayse it comes out that if you don't have both, if you put in the blue and then he puts in the white, it's as if the white is not there, and he has only fulfilled the tches. How could that be? If the white is not there, there's no blue, according to Rabbi. Rabbi says it's meaningless because you need both. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Rav, what's the pshat? Shechisa mitzvah. What does it mean that he didn't put in the white before the blue, that he's missing in the mitzvah? Not that he hasn't fulfilled the mitzvah of tzitzis. He says, well, it's a mitzvah. He Befeidish did fulfill the mitzvah. Because the mitzvah is to have tchelis, to have the blue wool together with the white wool. To have both. But what does it mean, chisa mitzvah? The loy asa mitzvah menamuvcha. He hasn't fulfilled the mitzvah in the most beautiful way. What? So felt in the mitzvah menamuvcha. You have the choicest mitzvah is missing. The choicest way is to follow the Seder. Sagt die Gemara Hateinach. So the Gemara has this makes sense. Lavan the eine ma'akev tcheles. That the white, right? So the tcheles is not ma'akev. If you put it in first, the tcheles, it's not ma'akev. The lavan from being considered as if he didn't put in the lavan. Even if he put in the tcheles first, it's not ma'akev. You understand? The tchelis is not going to be ma'akev the lavan.
Even though it has to be a lavan first.
Even though lavan has to be first. So he says, Eidem ma'akev at tchelis. If he puts in the tchelis first, it's not going to hinder the lavan. And tchelis, the Eidem ma'akev is lavan. Mai. What does it mean that if he put in the lavan first, tchelis, the Eidem ma'akev is lavan means that if he put in the lavan, is not going to be ma'akev if you put in the lavan first before the tchelis. Oh, my frankly, what are you talking about? You're supposed to put in the lavan before the tchelis. What are you saying? It's not ma'akev? The answer of the Gemara is that if his baguette is all tchelis, and hakonaf means from the same material of the baguette, and now the baguette is blue, so which one is supposed to go first? Blue. And then the white. So what's going on? Yeah, so that's the pshat. No, that's what it says. What?
So Konaf is blue. So the tchelis is also blue.
Blue.
So the whole talent has to be blue.
No, he says if the kanaf, that's going to be exception. The exception is we know kanaf normally means white, but if he want, if he want the baguette, normally the baguette is white. So that's why. So kanaf always represents white. But if it's going to be blue, which is a oisnam, it's an exception. So then you put in the kanaf. Kanaf still means white, but the kanaf has to be.
You don't have white at all in the whole.
Because they normally go according to the rave. The rave is kanaf. He says over here that the majority. You're going to see soon. The Gemara is going to say it here. Gamatal shashkul tcheles tzichus atzidis liyos mechute lavan utcheles shemina kanaf utcheles. B'reiv hataleis shemina kanaf ain't tcheles because the b'reiv is not. So kanaf normally means we already know means white. Over here, but once if the kanaf is going to be blue, then you start off with blue because it has to be mimin hakanaf.
It has to match.
It has to match. You have to match. You have to be in style. So now we also had learned Amalei Levi Lishmuel. Levi had said to Shmuel, Aryech is a Lashon king. He called Shmuel a king. And here he brings down from Rashi, why was Aryech called a king? Because why was Shmuel called a king? Because the halacha is like Shmuel when it comes to din mamanes. And one of the din mamanes is dina de malchus dina. So that he came up with malchus dina de malchus dina. That's why he was called king. So, but Levi treated him like but he was commanding him, even though he's a king. He says, look what he says. Levi says to Shmuel, Aryech, king, loy teisev ka'akar, don't sit down. He's a king and he's telling him, don't sit down. Explain me this did. Hatcheles ein me'akev es lavan. He says that the lavan, if he the tcheles is not going to be me'akev the lavan, and the lavan is not going to be me'akev the tcheles. In fact, the Gemara, what do you mean the lavan? If he puts in the lavan first, it's not me'akev the tcheles. Mai, what does that mean? That's the order. Amalei. So Shmuel answered, Lo nitzecha ella lesadim, only by a beged that's white, mitzitzis, then the mitzvah lagdumin lavan bereisha. Only if the kanaf, the beged, is white, then the order is that you have to first put white and then you put in the blue.
So saved it like before.
Yeah. He's repeating it, but now he's bringing a raya, a siyua, zokta. That's a raya to what we just said. My time. What's the reason? Why, if his kanaf, his beged is blue, then the first one should be the blue fringes, because it says ha kanaf, mimin kanaf. When the Torah says hakanov, it has to be from the same material of the baguette, which is blue. So therefore, he says, "Iagdim tcheles lelavan less lamba." If the normal one was the kanaf was white, and he put in blue, it's not a problem. It says the Gemara Tainer, because that's the lavan is the first one hakanov.
But you said he put in blue.
Yeah, but if he put in blue before the white, it's still going to be, it's not a problem. It's not going to be ma'akif. It's a chiddush. It says, I understand by lavan that the tchelis cannot be ma'akif, the lavan, as if he didn't put in the lavan, even if he put in the tchelis first. But the blue wool, the eina ma'akif is lavan, that if he puts in the lavan, right, it's not going to be ma'akif the tchelis. What's the chiddush there? The right order is white and then the blue. So what do you mean that the tcheles is not hindered by putting in the lavan first? The lavan is supposed to be first. Amalei Rabbi Bachama, so Rabbi Bachama answered, Lo nitzecha ela letalis shekula tcheles. We're talking about if the talis, the kanaf, was made out of blue wool. The mitzvah lagdum tcheles bereisha. Then the mitzvah is to insert the blue fringes before the white ones. Why? Because the Torah says hakanov of the baguette, mimin hakanov, that the fringes should be of the same material of the baguette. Now, and the baguette was tcheles. So that's what he was teaching us. That agdim lavan, even though officially you're supposed to put in inserted blue because the baguette was blue. He's teaching us that if you put in the white first, the agdim lavan bereisha, leislamba is not going to be makif. Amar Rabba. Rabba says, Midi tziva kagarim. Does the color of the baguette affect the color of the tzitzis? No way. We go according to the Reiv. Reiv knafim are white. So since Reiv begadim are white, that's it. We determine that white comes first. I don't care if it's going to be blue. All the time. That's what he says. That's the darker. Darker shall tell isyachis lemikrim regilim. This is what Rashi says. The derech of the Torah it follows the most usual type of a beggar that a person wears. And which type of a beggar does one wear always? White. So this time he wore blue, we're going to change it and say it's blue? No, it's always supposed to be white. Allah Marava, so Rava says, I'll give you a new shot. What does it mean that it's not me'akiv? He's referring to, yesterday we had it also, gardumin means like amputees. So if the tzitzis were torn, in the tzitzis is found as the tzitzis is found the gedil. The gedil means there are four sections with 5 double knots. That whole 5 sections together with the double knots, that's called gedil. Chulyes are called every section between the double knots. Those are the sections, chulyes. And then you have the psil, the fringes that come after the gedil, those strings. Okay? So if the strings got cut off till the gedil, so he says that legadumin, that there was a
mistake.
It was cut off. He went on a bike, and then the tzitz to the chain or to the wheel, and he yanked off a couple of pieces, 2 pieces. Sagt die
I
Gemara,
was going to say, usually if 3 there is too good, right?
if it's two from the same, if it's two from the same, it's only 4 strings that are folded up into 8. So if it's from the same, and we usually try to correspond each one, connect the other, one side to the other. So if it's from the same side, if it's from the same string on both sides, that's a big problem. You're missing a whole string. So if it's 2 like that, then it's puzzle. So the Gemara, Ala'ama Rava Leinitzcha El Legadumet, Igardam Tcheles, that if the whole Tcheles was cut off till the Gedil, Bekoy Lavam, but you have the white ones complete, the 2 white ones complete, or Igardam Lavam Bekoy Tcheles, or the 2 Lavan. Not just 2, 4. It has to be 5 in order 5. It has to be reiv of the tzitzis cut off in order to be puzzle. Here, if half got cut off, either the 2 lavan or the 2 tcheles, leis lamba, it's not a problem. The Amri b'nei Rab Chia, because the children of Rab Chia said gardume tcheles ksherim, and gardume ezev ksherim. If the fringes were complete, and then they got cut off, and they're right by the gedil, it's still kosher. And we find the same thing.
Because you can open up and take off a pistol of the bills.
We'll soon talk about it. We'll get to that. By Ezav are the hyssop branches, grass, which they dipped into the May para of the paraduma in order to be matara mace. It had a certain shear. But after a while, it got worn out, and it became a little piece. You're still allowed to use it as Kol's man that it was kosher l'chatchila. Says Gemara v'kama shear gadumim. What's the shear of amputations that we say is going to be good? Amabar hamduri amashmul kidei la'amvad. It has to be enough to be able to make a little bow, but only a bow with 1 string. That those bows that you make a bow and then you pull it out and become straight. So you don't need much string. You do a bow, like a fake bow. Even that little fake bow is enough.
You say the same thing. That you have that,
Okay. All right. So Gemara is the shale kedela amman. So amman kuli habahadadi oidima kochad v'chad l'chodei. What does it mean in order to make a bow? Does it mean to make a bow with all the strings? Then you need more. It's very hard to take a whole bunch of strings and make a bow. So you need a little bit more space. More string hanging in order to make that bow. Or it means each one separately, so then you don't need much. Teiko. So the Gemara said we'll leave it as a shail over here, and Eliyahu Hanavi will answer it. Boy Ravashi. What about thick strings? You bought tzitzis with thick wool strings. So, and there you can't make a bow with such it's very hard. So it says, you have a katine me'amvei. If it would have been a thin string, you would have been able to make the bow. But here, being that it's so thick and you have a little piece where you can't make the bow, so what's the din? Is it kosher or not? Kosher came, for sure it's going to be good. Because the minka mitzvah sayu, if it's thick, you see it. You see the tzitzis is still there, the fringes are still there. It's the thin ones that you have to have it a little longer to be able to make a bow, but and we still say it's good, even though it's not recognizable, the fringes, because they're thin. But if it's thick, you see it. In fact, the Gemara, I guess we'll learn a little bit more. Mantana de Palig, Alei de Rabbi. Who is the Tana that argues with Rabbi that says that are not me'akiv one another? Hi Tana. He says this is the Tanya. This is the Tana. The Tanya that we learned in the Braisa. Rabbi Yitzchak mishum Rabbi Nosson. Sha'om mishum Rabbi Yisrael Agduli. Rabbi Yitzchak said in the name of Rabbi Yonason, who said in the name of Rabbi Yisrael Agduli. Sha'om mishum Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. Ein loy tcheles. If he doesn't have tcheles, mata lovin, he can use the whole lovin. So you see the feish. One is not me'akiv the other. We'll go a little.
It can be all lovin'.
Could be all lovin'. There's a story with the Chaim Kanevsky. They went and people came complaining to him. We know already what tchelis is. Why aren't you wearing tchelis? So and he said, are you going to want to say that That's a lot of money. They charge a lot of money for the tchelis. That's why you don't want to wear it. So do it bigniza, do it in a hidden way. So Chaim Kanevsky says, how do you know I don't do it in a hidden way? How do you know I'm not doing it bigniza in my private? No, I say when he's in a private room, he wears it. How do you know he's not doing it? Okay. Rava said, Shma Mina. We have a raya from here. Tzarech likshoyer al kol chulya v'chulya. For every section, there's coils on the tzitzis. Then there's a double knot, another set of coils, another double knot. How do we know that we have to, by every section of coils, you have to, because there's one longer string in which he turns around and makes the coils. And so he says, how do we know by each section he makes a double knot? So if you're going to think that you don't need a double knot, this that the Bnei Rabchia said, that the amputees, the cut off pieces is kosher. So he says, if the chut of the tchelis was nifsak, and you only have little fringes, so so we have a problem. Mikivan the Ishtari Ilai, he says it's so close that the kesher is already opening up, and if that's the only knot that you have at the end, you make all the coils, and then you only make a last knot at the end, and the pieces are cut right there by the end, it's going to fall apart. He says, "Mikivan the Ishtari." The knot will open up, and the whole thing will fall. All the tzitz will fall apart till the baguette.
Well, because you haven't set the folios though.
Oh, that's only if you double knot it by every section. He's saying, I'm proving to you that you have to have it.
If you only knotted toward the end, you mean?
Yeah, if you only knot it, you made all the coils and you only knot it at the end, and it's cut, the pieces are cut right there by the knot, it's going to fall apart. Israel Kula, the whole thing will open up. So it says the Gemara, Dilma, it could be that the Bnei Rabchia are talking about the Iktar, that Taka did tie at the end of every section. But there is a daya that says that even the fringes till the first knot, let's say right by the baguette, they make a first knot and then opens up all the way to the end. Even if it got cut off there, it's still going to be kosher. That's one day.
You can have a little plain,
Yeah. Okay.